Hello, I am Brian Robinson, principal of Highlands High School, and I'm happy to introduce for you our May edition of the Highlander News. Prior to watching our fantastic students highlight news around school, the Fort Thomas District, and the community, I'd like to remind you of several important items as we enter the very busy month of May. Let me first begin by highlighting how proud I am of the work our students, families, faculty, and staff have done to allow Highlands to be named as the top school in the Commonwealth of Kentucky by the Washington Post, and one of only 5 schools to receive gold recognition by U.S. News and World Report. Thank you for all you do and your continued support. We've already begun in May busy with state, national, and final exam testing. Advanced placement tests occur between May 5th and 16th. End of course testing begins May 13th. Please remember that all students enrolled in Algebra 2, Biology, English 2, and U.S. History take this important test, which also serves as the primary portion of their exam grade. On-demand writing test for all 10th and 11th grade students occurs on May 28th. The complete testing calendar for all courses can be found on the Guidance Office webpage on the link listed on the screen. Please encourage our students to get plenty of rest and eat a good breakfast in preparation for these tests. Final exams this year will begin June 3rd and will be completed on the last day for students, June 5th. Seniors will begin their 3rd and 6th period exams one day early in order to prepare for graduation. Parents of seniors, please be sure to consult the recent letter outlining senior events and activities. Our traditional visit to Fort Thomas Elementary Schools will take place May 27th. The baccalaureate and senior dinner cruise will take place May 25th. Finally, commencement ceremonies will take place Sunday, June 8th. Please be sure to help make this a smooth and exciting time for seniors by helping them pay off any overdue fines, complete major assessments, and engage in the fun activities that mark the completion of their high school experience. Finally, please check the district calendar found on the link below to keep up with the numerous programs, concerts, and spring sports events involving our exceptional Highland students. In addition, the Guidance Office recently created a Twitter page to help keep students and parents informed. If you're looking for a way to stay up to date with testing dates, scholarship deadlines, and all things guidance and counseling, follow us at HHS Go. Also remember you can view our daily announcements using the link found on the screen as well. Please don't hesitate to contact your son or daughter's teacher, guidance counselor, or administrator to discuss concerns you may have. Thanks again for all you do to make Highlands such a wonderful place. I hope you enjoy the most recent edition of the Highlander News as much as they have enjoyed making it.
Hello Highlands, and welcome back to another edition of the Highlander News, coming to you live from the broadcast studio here at the high school. I'm Michael Ayers.
And I'm Mackenzie Goyard.
There will be a band concert May 6th beginning at 7:30 p.m. May 8th there will be a strings concert beginning at 7 p.m. as well. May 18th the choir program will be hosting their spring choral concert at 7 p.m. All performances will be held in the Performing Arts Center. Make sure you come on out and support your Bluebirds.
Now on a more personal level for this edition of the Highlander News, February 22nd was a significant day in my life, a day when I learned a huge lesson. I was approaching traffic going about 65 miles an hour, and I decided at that moment that I needed to check my phone, see what alerts I had, what texts I had, what Snapchats, etc. When I looked up from my phone, the people in front of me were at a complete stop. As I said, I was approaching traffic. I decided that it was at that time that I needed to slam on my brakes because I was going to hit the car in front of me, and the high-speed lane was open at that time, so I decided to swerve into the high-speed lane. Because I swerved at such a high speed, I lost control, and then I began to fishtail, and I went head-on into the concrete wall on that side, and then I 360'd, and my back end went into the wall, and bouncing off of that wall, I flipped and landed driver's side. Just some generous man came up and knocked on my windshield and was going to make sure that I had consciousness, that I was okay. And the man then climbed on top of my car, opened my passenger side door, was talking to me, getting me to speak to make sure I was okay, that I was coherent, and then grabbed my hand. I unbuckled my seatbelt and pulled me right out of the passenger side door.
This generous man was one among many of the people around Mackenzie during the time of her accident, on 275 just past the Wilder exit near the Fort Thomas Jeff Weiler.
It was when I actually saw all the traffic that I had built up and the ambulance coming and the police and all that stuff, that I actually saw them through my own eyes and not through a windshield or not through a car window. That's when I really started crying, realizing that I just flipped a car. Like, I just could have almost been severely injured.
I've held a hand of too many parents who've lost children to accidents, hold dead babies, hold people bloody because they're distracted by a radio.
When I first started to tell them what happened, they asked me to explain how I lost control and that sort of thing. I started to say that I was messing with my radio because no one wants to admit to the fact that they were texting and driving or that they were checking their phone. And she said, "So do you give me permission to look at your phone and check?" And at that point I was like, I'm gonna get caught if she looks at my text messages, if she looks at my Snapchats, if she looks at anything. When I checked my phone, it's gonna be at the time, or at least a little before the accident.
Mackenzie discusses the admittance of her texting while driving, but really emphasizes how hard it was to explain to her parents what she had done.
And I think that's what really hit me the most, that I had to admit to my parents that I just ruined a car that they provided for me because I made an irresponsible decision.
We just had a young girl, she was driving down the street. She reached down to put something in her GPS, we believe. She was down, she said maybe 3 seconds. She drifted off the road and hit and killed somebody. Been too many lives lost just to receive a text or try to send a text. It's just not worth it.
Well, I would definitely say to just wait. It's not worth it. No text message is worth it. And I think not even to my peers, but also to the adults out there that feel like they've had enough driving experience to pick up their phone and send a text or something like that. Every driving situation is different. Everywhere you go, something different happens. It's not the exact same route. It's not the exact same situation every time you drive. Everything is different. The elements around it are different, so you never know what's gonna happen. And I think just waiting is the best advice I can give. Texting and driving was a decision that I made and fully regret, so please take my advice and put the phone down while driving. Although I walked out with no injury, it's not an accident I want anyone else to experience.
All year long, the AP students have been preparing for these special weeks in May where their knowledge is put to test. AP tests have already begun and will continue with AP Computer Science and Spanish tomorrow. Wednesday will both be AP Calculus exams, Thursday AP English Literature, and closing the week on Friday, AP English Language, Statistics, and Studio Art. Good luck, guys.
The following week of May 12th through 15th will begin with AP Biology, Music Theory, and Physics on Monday, AP US Government and Human Geography on Tuesday, AP German and US History on Wednesday, and finally AP World History on Thursday. Those of you who have already taken exams today, we hope you did well, and those of you who are taking them in the next 2 weeks, good luck.
Sparking much controversy this week was the NBA's decision to ban Donald Sterling over his racist beliefs. Highlander News correspondent Sam has more.
Racist comments rocked the NBA this weekend as Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling making racist comments and a recording of an argument with his girlfriend was released over the internet this past weekend. Outrage from former NBA players, fans, and even his own team has sparked a wildfire of opposition.
I'm not broadcasting anything.
Taking pictures with minorities. Why?
What's wrong with minorities? What's wrong with black people?
Nothing.
What's wrong with
It's like
Hispanics?
talking to an enemy.
Where all this negativity coming from?
There's no negativity. I love everybody. I'm just saying, in your lousy Instagrams, you don't have to have yourself with walking with black people. You don't have to. If you want to, do it.
If it's white people, it's okay? If it was Larry Bird, would it have made a difference?
You're just a big fighter. I could see who would want to live with a woman like you.
He shouldn't own a team anymore. And he should stand up and say, I don't want to own a team anymore, especially when you have African Americans renting his apartments, coming to the games, and playing for him, and coaching for him. This is bad for everybody.
There's no room for that in our game. We've found a way to make this the greatest game in the world, and for comments like that, it taints our game, and we can't have that. can't have it from a player, we can't have it from an owner, we can't have it from a fan, and so on and so on. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever the case may be.
Sunday night, the Clippers took on the Golden State Warriors at home and led a silent protest against their owner. They took the court for warm-ups, throwing their jerseys at center court, wearing their playoff shirts inside out so as to hide the Clippers logo, and wearing black socks and black armbands. Sterling did not show up to the game. The Clippers lost 97-118. Other NBA teams have also joined the protest, like the Miami Heat, who played on Tuesday night, wearing their jerseys inside out as well to protest the tolerance of racism in the NBA. Commissioner Adam Silver held a press conference in which he announced that Donald Sterling would be banned from the NBA for life, would also have to give up his team and pay a $2.5 million fine.
I am personally distraught that the views expressed by Mr. Sterling came from within an institution that has historically taken such a leadership role in matters of race relations. Effective immediately, I am banning Mr. Sterling for life from any association with the Clippers organization or the NBA. I'm also fining Mr. Sterling $2.5 million, the maximum amount allowed under the NBA Constitution.
All proceeds were going to go to anti-racist charities and programs around the country. Looks like the Los Angeles Clippers need a new home, and I don't know, Queen City Clippers does have a nice ring to it. Sam Rosensteel, Highlander Sports News, Los Angeles.
And more with sports, Colin Dean.
Derby this past weekend, your guys' horses win?
Dead last.
Dead
California
last.
Chrome, of course, first.
Wicked Strong did not help me out, but here we go. The boys tennis team won their third consecutive conference championship this past week, and the team's first doubles, Tyler Mitchell and Max Freiberger, and singles player Ben Emery have qualified for state, but have a regional match today in Harrison County. The girls tennis team, all their players advanced to the regional semifinals and have matches today as well in Harrison County. Good luck to all the Highlands tennis players playing today. And Colin Cruzy caught up with the boys tennis team and how their growth and preparation for the regionals is coming together. Colin?
Thanks, guys. The tennis team this year has a much stronger group of players than usual, but still has high hopes for the season. So let's see how they're progressing.
We're pretty young this year, but I think we're progressing pretty well. We've had to kind of start over. We lost 5 of our 7 starters from varsity last year, so we've had to replace with a lot of young kids, but they've really stepped up this year, so I've been really pleased with how they're doing, and we have a long way to go until the regional tournament, but by the time we get there, I think we'll be peaking at the right time.
We got like a really young group this year, but you know, like a lot of middle school kids, but they're doing pretty well, getting in shape, and I think Pete Lasky is really doing well. He's a 6th grader. He's on a varsity team, so it's shaping up pretty well.
So how's the tennis team progressing with the young roster?
It's doing pretty good. Ben Emery's staying strong, and we're winning as many matches as we can.
We're a good team. We should win region again like we did last year. We have high hopes, but I think the young team helps us out.
Our goal this year is to really repeat as regional champions, and then from that try to build as many kids as we can up to the state level and see how far they can progress there as well.
All right, I want to wish the tennis team best of luck on their season and on their run to state. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Colin. Our softball team is on a roll. This past week, they went 4-0, beating NCC, Connor, Campbell County, and Turpin. And the Ladybirds showed up to play some defense as they did not record a single error. Keep it up, ladies. Baseball team has a 13-11 record and recently had a tough doubleheader against Cuff-Cath and Moeller, but beat NCC 13-6 a few weeks back. They play today at Dixie and kick off their district tournament on the 19th. With regionals starting this Saturday, both the boys and girls track teams are looking good. The boys 4x4 relay team finished first at Walnut Hills meet. The girls side have 2 top 3 finishes in the mile, but Ethan Shuley is the big man on campus after running 2 miles in 9:13. That's hard to believe. Back to you guys.
That's all for this edition of the Highlander News, live from the broadcast studio. I'm Mackenzie Goyert.
And I'm Michael Ayers, and we will see you guys next time.